Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com back again with another quick news update. We have some news on a major star of both Impact Wrestling and other wrestling promotions potentially heading over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We also have some news on a big NXT title match that's been announced for the next TakeOver show, not necessarily the Heavyweight Championship. Stay tuned, I'll let you know which one it is. And also, finally at the end, we're going to talk about Vince McMahon and his decision on whether or not to have Progress and ICW and promotions like that in the UK on the WWE Network. We'll have the latest on that as well. So plenty of news to talk about. Let's get stuck into it and let's take a look at all of the news. Now, first of all, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Johnny Impact, aka Johnny Mundo, aka John Morrison in WWE, aka Johnny Nitro, of course, if you're a fan of him back in the day, has apparently inquired himself about potentially heading over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, this is very interesting indeed. Meltzer specified that this is not the first time there's been some kind of connection between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Mr. Mundo Impact Nitro Morrison, Mr. Worldwide. Apparently, Johnny wanted to head over there previously in the past, but his contract situation with Mexican promotion AAA made that pretty difficult to engineer because obviously New Japan are more affiliated with CMLL, that sort of promotion, that kind of side of the Mexican wrestling scene. But apparently these days, nowadays, this year, the contract situation isn't quite so rigid a factor. Apparently, Mundo Impact Morrison could well end up over there. Now, the timing of this is strange to me because you'd think he'd have tried to engineer a move over there a little bit sooner and get himself into the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, which is obviously going on right now. But at the same time, he's kind of a tall guy. Maybe he could be in the G1. Who knows? Maybe we could see him in the G1 actually, now that I've just thought of that. That would be very interesting indeed. There's a lot of dream matchups that I'd love to see him in over in New Japan. Obviously the big ones, Omega, Okada, those sort of guys. Also, some of the juniors as well. I'd love to see, for example, Mundo Morrison versus Takahashi or something like that. So there's a lot of potential things on the table there. Hopefully, I'd quite like to see that happen. I'd quite like to see him in New Japan doing his thing. But what do you think? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. In other news, WWE have announced the first match of NXT Takeover Chicago, and it's for the Tag Team Championship. Now, obviously the Undisputed Era hold the tag team belts right now under kind of a freebird rule sort of deal where any member can defend the title at any given time. Apparently the two members that are being sent out to Takeover Chicago to defend the titles are Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Obviously Bobby Fish is more O'Reilly's regular tag team partner as he was on the Indies with Ring of Honor and stuff like that, but at the same time Roderick Strong is a key member of the NXT roster now in terms of storylines. He recently turned heel, of course, joining up with the Undisputed Era, so it makes full sense for him to be in this match. Their opponents are going to be Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Now, for those who aren't too well versed in NXT, that might sound a little bit underwhelming. Aren't those guys just sort of enhancement talent on NXT? But if you kind of have watched their matches over the past couple of years, you'll know that both Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan are two of the most underrated, unheralded members of the NXT roster. They used to be rivals. They had a fantastic little feud between them that was, again, not paid as much attention to as it perhaps should have been. And then they joined up and became a tag team and have had some good matches since. And I think this could be a sleeper hit and a very good match indeed in Chicago. Obviously, Gargano and Ciampa's feud is not ending anytime soon as well, when Ciampa recently caused Gargano to fall onto Candice, hurting or injuring her. And yeah, hopefully there's another rematch coming up because, my God, how good was their match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans? It's my match of the year so far, and it'll take some bout to surpass it in those standings. And finally, heading back to the Observer, it has been reported that Vince McMahon has again changed his mind with regard to having ICW and Progress, the two biggest probably UK wrestling promotions, on the WWE Network. Now, according to Meltzer, Vince McMahon keeps flipping and flopping between the two. Sounds really funky, doesn't it? Vince keeps flippity flopping, kids, between the two options in his mind. So originally he was all for it. Apparently it seems to be like a Triple H spearheaded idea that he's presented to Vince, and Vince was like, yep, go for it. Then changed his mind and went, no, that's not a good idea. And now has changed his mind back, potentially, because he's got, you know, it's less of a risk now with that sweet money coming in future from those TV deals for Raw and SmackDown. So maybe it's got something to do with that, who knows? If you're subscribed to the Observer, by the way, there was an excellent piece by Meltzer written up about the whole kind of TV deal situation and the various different things that this could mean in the future, although he has emphasised that it's not news, it's just speculation, hence why we're not reporting on it right now. But yes, apparently Progress and ICW could find themselves on the WWE Network, and if so, it will be around the time of the UK Championship tournament this summer. So that's pretty much all the news for now. Thank you very much for watching this video update. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at JackTheJobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic. And you can check out our Patreon as well too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never, ever, ever forget to join us.